Hi there, and welcome to the podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about food, especially adjectives to describe food that we enjoy or food that we really do not like, that we dislike. How do you like your coffee? Do you like your coffee creamy and sweet with milk or cream? Or do you like your coffee black that gives it a bitter taste? Bitter. And so bitter is for foods that give a slightly sharp, a slightly sharp and kind of cutting on the tongue, doesn't have that kind of nice, smooth and sweetness that you get from the milk or the cream when you add that to your tea or your coffee. So it can be bitter, and we can have milky chocolate or we can have bitter chocolate. So if you like milky chocolate, you want the one that has the higher milk content in it, and it gives that nice sweet and smooth taste and flavor. Or if you like it bitter, you like it to have less milk and more cocoa, so it's got that darker and slightly sharp flavor to it. Me, I personally, I like the bitter chocolate. I really enjoy to have a bit of bitter chocolate with my coffee. And what about your bread? Maybe you like bread that has some seeds and raisins and things in it to give it a nice flavor. Or maybe you just go for simple sliced white bread that has more of a bland flavor. So to be bland, when something is bland, it just doesn't really have flavor. It really doesn't have much taste. And in order for to give more taste to your sandwich, maybe you're going to have to add some mayonnaise or some ketchup or something to give it a bit more flavor so it's not so bland. How about smoky flavors? Maybe you like your fish smoked, you like your salmon smoked, or your bacon smoked. So, where we take the meat or the fish and we allow it to sit for some time underneath a flame, and the smoke from the flame enters into the meat or the fish, and it gives it that nice smoky flavor, a good smoky flavor. Maybe you like your foods sour. So, for example, maybe you don't just like to squeeze lemon onto your salad, but maybe you actually like to eat and bite into the lemon, the raw lemon. So you get that real sour flavor that makes your eyes water, and makes your eyes squint because it's almost too much to take. Maybe you enjoy that. Maybe you like the flavor of grapefruit, which again has that sour, nice sour flavor. In some parts of the world, people don't really like spicy food so much. So in Turkey, in a lot of Turkey, people would not prefer to eat Indian food because of the spicy flavor, which can be too strong for them. Me personally, I quite enjoy a spicy curry. The effect of the chili and the spices, it has that hotness that's almost like an explosion in your mouth. And after eating some of the curry, you're going to need to take a big glass of cold water just to cool down your mouth. And the words that we use can be positive, can give a positive meaning, or they can give a negative meaning. So when you look at the food, when you look at a meal, when you see the picture of that chicken or that pasta or the ice cream, is it appetizing? Is it appetizing to you? So appetizing, from the word appetite. If it's appetizing, it makes you want to eat. It's something that attracts you, that you think, yes, this would be enjoyable, this would be tasty. It's appetizing food. Or when you look at it, do you think this looks nasty? Maybe nasty. Nasty when something is so bad. Is so bad that even just to look at the food, uh, makes you feel ill, maybe it makes your stomach turn. And when you taste the food, it's equally nasty to you. You just cannot stand it. You just cannot eat it at all. Maybe in a positive way, when you serve that food to the table and you put your nose over the dish, it has a zesty smell, and then you taste it, and again it's got this zest. It's got zest. It's zesty, so it's got it's got this strong. It's got a strong flavor. Maybe the flavor of things like lemon. Lemon's got zest. You know, it's got that fragrance, like an aroma, something that you catch when you eat your favorite food, maybe very comforting food. It could be fast food from McDonald's, burgers, pizzas. It could be chocolate or sweet things, and it's just yummy. And when we say yummy, yum yum, very very delicious, and something that just is just comforting for you to eat. Or maybe in the negative way, if somebody makes your pasta but they don't add the sauce and they don't add the salt and the pepper, then for you it's just tasteless. For me personally, if there isn't seasoning in the food, and seasoning means adding the basic salt and pepper that you need for it to have some flavor, especially for plain foods, plain, not having any taste. Maybe rice, maybe pasta, maybe white bread. If they don't have the seasoning, then the pasta to me is just tasteless. Or in a positive, with a positive description, maybe when you eat this food, it's so yummy that we say this is scrumptious, absolutely scrumptious, something that you want to just sink your teeth into and just consume all of it, even the whole cake or the whole box of ice cream is absolutely scrumptious. Or maybe when you open the packet, that food has been there for too long and it's gone really, really bad. And when you smell it, it's just rancid. Or when you look at it, it's gone a really bad color and it's rancid. It's absolutely disgusting. To smell it or to eat it would just make you throw up. It would just make you ill to be absolutely rancid. Or maybe you want to describe the texture of the food. The texture. So the texture is how something feels when you touch it, when it presses against your tongue and in the inside of your mouth. What is the texture like? So we're talking about, um, we're talking about the ice cream, and the ice cream, when it makes contact with the mouth, it's creamy. It has a creamy texture. It's not rough. It's a nice smooth and rich, so it's a creamy texture. Or maybe you like the kind of cheese that they use in Greek food, feta cheese, which is a crumbly cheese. So that means that when it makes contact with your mouth, it crumbles into pieces. It's a little dry and it's crumbly. Or maybe you like your French baguettes, which are soft on the inside, but on the outside it's harder. And so when you bite into it, it's crunchy. It's got that crunch. It's got the crunch when you bite into it. Maybe you like your meat. You like the meat when it's cooked in its own oil and its own fat, so that when it goes into your mouth, it's greasy, it's oily, it's got this kind of coating of oil around it. Maybe you like greasy food, maybe you enjoy greasy food. Not so healthy, but can be very enjoyable. And when you make your cake, if you're not successful, maybe the cake is very, very dry. But then on a better day, when you have the success, you get that delicious moist. So your chocolate cake is moist. It's got some moisture. There's still a little bit of liquid in there, which makes it nice and kind of soft and a little juicy, which is just the kind of texture that you want for that cake. Or maybe you take out your fruit, you take out your oranges and your pears, but they're a little old and they've become mushy. So they're not really very solid anymore. They seem to be sort of full of water and they don't really have that form. It might not be so nice just to eat them as they are, but they're mushy. And you might prefer when they are mushy to cook them so that you can use them in some kind of a tart or a pie or something like that. How do you like your steak? Do you like your steak to be soft and tender? Tender, so that when it's not too cooked and when you bite into that steak, it's still soft and juicy inside. It's really tender. Or maybe you like to cook it so it's well cooked, very well cooked, and a little bit tough, so a little bit hard to the bite. It takes a little bit more work with your teeth to be able to chew through it and swallow the meat, but that's when the meat is tough. Okay, I hope you enjoyed these idioms, these expressions, and I hope you will be able to use them. Thanks very much for listening, and I hope you join me at the next one.